My parents tried to take my second child after neglecting my first. I had my first child, Liam, when I was 18. My parents were furious when they found out I was pregnant. They yelled, shamed me, and even suggested I give him up for adoption. When I decided to keep him, they barely spoke to me for months. After he was born, they didn't help much, aside from the occasional condescending remark about how I'd ruined my life. For years, Liam and I were a team. I worked 2 jobs, went back to school, and slowly pieced my life together. My parents never really warmed up to Liam. They saw him as a reminder of my bad choices. They'd make cruel comments about how I should have waited, how he was holding me back, and even called him a mistake once when they thought I wasn't listening. Fast forward to a few years later, I met my now husband, James. He's a kind, hard-working man who loves Liam as his own. We got married, bought a small house, and had our second child, Sophie. For the first time in a long time, my life felt stable and happy. When Sophie was born, my parents suddenly showed up acting like doting grandparents. They fawned over her, bought gifts, and posted pictures of her online, as if they'd been involved all along. The difference in how they treated Sophie compared to Liam was glaring. Liam noticed too. He asked me one day, "Mum, why don't Grandma and Grandpa like me?" It broke my heart. Things took a turn when my parents started pushing for more access to Sophie. They'd drop hints about how I wasn't capable of raising 2 kids, even though I was doing just fine. One day, they outright told me they wanted to take Sophie for a while, to give her a better life. I was stunned. They actually thought I'd hand over my child. When I refused, they tried to guilt-trip me, bringing up how hard things had been when I had Liam, and how they knew better this time. They even implied that James and I were too busy to give Sophie proper attention. All the while, they still ignored Liam, barely acknowledging his existence. That was the last straw. I cut contact with them for a while to protect my kids. I realized they didn't care about being grandparents, they just wanted to rewrite history, pretend Sophie was their fresh start, and erase Liam from the picture. Liam is an amazing kid, and I'll never let anyone make him feel less than. My parents had their chance to be involved in our lives, and they blew it. Now, my focus is on my family, Liam, Sophie, and James.